Hey guys, welcome to Badlands. Mason here, and we today are going to go through how to install the new KWS, Killhouse Weapon Systems M4 mag release into the Tippmann TMC. It's for general purposes because it is the most complicated and will require the most attention. Alright, so let's dig in. First of all, obviously you need the TMC here. You do not need the barrel or the shroud, they're just there to be there. So we will ignore those for now. We have our mag so we can test it out, make sure it works properly once it's assembled. We have our mag release. We have a little wrench tool here with the hex head, very, very small. So you're gonna have a tough time finding another one of these. Definitely hang on to this when you're done with it because that's not something you really wanna lose. We will need a Phillips headed screwdriver or a star for those of us that don't know what a Phillips is. And this is gonna be just a 1/8 Allen wrench here for the vast majority of the fasteners in the gun. I have it in my electric screwdriver for just for the sake of speed. So let's get at it, and I will try to do this upside down for everybody's benefit. First, we are going to remove the single Phillips headed screw, which is in the reverse side of the grip frame here, the pistol grip. I do not know why this is here, to be perfectly honest with you. It's a question for Tippmann, I guess. But anyways, there's that. You will need to remove your sight as well because it is a basically clamping it on. Come on, let's come out. You asked for it. There we go. So, as you can see, that popped right off. Put that over there, this over here, that right there. Do not lose them. Now, bit of a trick. Put that offside. Because you actually have to disassemble the shell to get at your original mag release, you have to actually pull the shell apart. Now, to get apart a TMC shroud, if you've never done it before, there's a bit of a process to it. You have to put this, first of all, into fire, and you need to pull back on your cocking handle slightly, lift the shell apart, and then you have to pull the trigger. So, all right, no parts lost, just a few things out of place. So we will drop our trigger back in where it belongs, trigger return spring back where it belongs. Make sure all of our pins are where they should be. They are. This will be a bit of a challenge. Well, not a challenge. There's a process again to putting your charging handle back in, but we'll worry about that later. For now, let's just get the mag release out. So this is pretty straightforward. You just turn on here and it will come off. Success. Save this spring because you're actually going to use it. The stock spring is designed for sort of a standard M4 body. And as you have noticed here, the TMC does not use a standard M4 design. So you're going to want to save that. Now, this mag release will go back in without having to disassemble the gun. So you can reassemble it and then put your mag release back in. So let's make sure we have everything in place. That is there. Now, charging handle. You need to pull the spring, and you'll notice there's a little gap right here, which will allow it to go around the tooth, shall we say, on the connecting arm. So there we have it. Now we have to reverse the process that we used when we put it on. So for some of us, myself included, this putting it together, you got to do it right ways up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this, and what you could do at home, stand on your head if you need a guide for this. So there we go. So line this up and then pull the trigger, and what that will do is it'll move the trigger arm out of the way of the safety, and there you go. Now holding it firmly so it doesn't come apart, just make sure that everything is lined up here. Your charging handle moves and you're good to go. Then what I like to do, doesn't matter which screw it is, you might get the right one, you might not. Put a single screw through the center here, right above the trigger, and that will hold it together while you put the rest in. If it's too long, no big deal, you can take it out after you've got a couple other screws in. And, that's how good I am, I got the right one. So, we're gonna put all these back in and then we'll put our mag release in. There we go. Now we're all back assembled, and we are going to put our new upgraded ambidextrous mag release on. So, taking note of how this is positioned on here, I'm using the red one because it's easy enough to see. You want to have this panel pointed towards the back of the gun. So it's going to be mounted like that, so you can reach it with your other finger. Okay, so that won't really come into play until later. And then that is a dovetail right there. That's a very specific way of going on here. So you want to make sure that you have this oriented in the correct direction. There we have it. Now this is a stock spring. Don't throw it away. You may want to hang on to it, but you're not going to use it on this build. So we put that in there. Put that spring in there. And now, when you look at this, you will notice two things. One, there's a curve to the dovetail, and there's a little screw hole at the top, a second one. You're going to want to make sure that that screw hole there is pointed towards the top of the gun, because that will determine which direction your button faces. Then we are going to slide that on there. And away we go. And while you have the gun on this side here, you can put this last Phillips screw back in to complete your assembly. So there is what it looks like fully assembled. Okay, so you can release from this side, or you can release from this side. Cool, huh? And that is that, ladies and gents. That is the ambidextrous extended M4 mag release from Killhouse Weapon Systems. Again, this is just on the TMC. However, it will work on most standard M4 designs. Unfortunately, it does not work on the TM15, but it does work on the T15, which is currently on the market. If you would like to get your hands on this or any other of the sweet Killhouse products that we carry, check us out at badlandspaintball.com, stop in at the store, follow us on Facebook, social media, any of those things that we do.